Leave the World Behind, the Illuminati connections to it. When the movie starts, they play a song by Joey Badass called The Revenge. Well, you want to know a lyric to that song? Why did they choose that song? Let me tell you one of the lyrics. They gonna say, I joined the Illuminati. I got demons all around me. That is the beginning of this song, executive produced by US presidents. It is an Illuminati movie in its predictive programming for what's to come. So that's the beginning song, Illuminati. And then they go into the Kool and the Gang song. Look at the Kool and the Gang music video that they're playing. Very Illuminati-esque, like Eyes Wide Shut.
They're saying that this movie had a lot of satanic symbolism in it. Now, if you haven't seen this movie already, it's called Leave the World Behind. And it's about America's enemies joining together to take down the country. They do it in a 3-step process. Isolation, disable all communication, transportation, leaving people deaf, dumb, and paralyzed. Synchronized chaos, which is terrorize them with covert attacks, disinformation, and no clear enemy. Third, civil war and collapse. Now, from the start of this movie, you see a blatant 666 right in front of your face. And in the promotional poster, people are saying it says, I am Baal. Who is Baal? A demon that Christians believe in. He's basically Satan's head demon. Not to mention this movie was produced by Barack and Michelle Obama. Are people just reaching, or is something big coming?
The minority do the dirty work, and the white manage them from the back. Why do black Americans raise their hands in support of all the decisions against humanity?
Scariest conspiracy theories.
Historians and researchers believe that Atlantis was a real place, a highly advanced society with impressive technology and culture. The ancient Greek philosopher Plato wrote about Atlantis in his dialogues, describing it as a powerful kingdom that existed around 9,000 years before his time. According to the legend, the city was situated on an island in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean and was destroyed by natural disasters and catastrophes. There have been numerous archaeological discoveries and ancient texts that suggest the existence of a lost civilization with advanced knowledge of mathematics, astronomy, and engineering. Some of these artifacts date back to the same period when Atlantis was said to have flourished. There is also many geographic and geological features that could match the description of Atlantis in Plato's account. So what do you think?
Control Malta, control the world. Malta is, for some reason, at the center of all of this stuff. As I was going through all of this information, I couldn't figure out why. The Ottoman Empire tried to take over Malta. They were basically undefeatable. The Knights of Malta are able to hold them off. Napoleon wants to take over Malta. Napoleon has basically taken over everything, gets his ass handed to him by the Brits. Fast forward to World War II, for some reason, the Germans are obsessed with Malta. They're trying to strengthen their own position in the war, but it all comes down to Malta. Malta ends up being the most bombed place in all of World War II. They must have lost 128 planes in a very, very short period of time. Control Malta, control the world. But why? What's actually there? Malta has some of the most ancient megalithic sites in all of the world. Something was there way before our civilization was. And the lore is that the Knights Malta moved to this island and stored immense riches and artifacts beneath the tunnels of Malta. The Knights Templar also merged with the Knights of Malta at a time in the not-so-distant past, and the Knights were well known for hoarding their treasures. Were the Germans aware of this? I mean, this nut job had his people all over the world looking for relics of power, riches, and scientific anomalies. This place had to have been more than a mere war strategy, but is it true?
If you do not know what the Archon Soul Trap is, then this video might save your life. First, you need to know that the Earth has become a realm to trap souls in the reincarnation cycle. Now, the Archons have done this by deceiving humanity into not allowing them to evolve spiritually and ascend their soul. Without ascending into the highest vibration where matter becomes light, we stay trapped in the reincarnation cycle. This is why constant negativity and fear is purported in the media that they control, because fear is the lowest vibration. So what are Archons? Archons were spoken about in the ancient Gnostic texts, and these life forms have no connection to source, no feelings of love. All they strive for is power. These are the dark forces that are controlling and manipulating humanity. Now, because Archons express no feelings, they cannot manifest on their own. This is why there's so much predictive programming in the media, because they put these ideas into the minds of the collective consciousness in order for them to manifest. It is the collective consciousness that holds the matrix up like glue. The only way to escape the Archon soul trap is to ascend your soul. This happens by raising your dominant vibration through meditative practice. Do not pay attention or consume anything that the media wants you to. Look within yourself and cultivate a peace within. Through this practice, you will escape the reincarnation cycle. High vibrational entities, angels, ascended masters came back to Earth to help wake humanity up from this cycle. Peace and love.
You know, Tesla once said that the world is all about frequency, vibration, and energy. So I think all these frequency things, you know, might be true. You know, vibrate at a higher level, you know, and don't have a low self-esteem. Just, you know, be jovial, be happy. Don't consume what the media wants you to consume.
Zodiac signs. Zodiac signs is actually a demon. A demon rules over each zodiac sign. So how they did it was that in the time of Babylonia, they carried on what these Nephilim taught the humans. So they took the sky and divided up into 12 areas. With each area, they assigned a demon. So they gave it a name. And in Hebrew thought, name speaks of character and function. For instance, if you are a Capricorn, that's your demon that you are assigned to. His character, his function is actually your horoscope. That's pretty much the function. That's the character of that demon. And that's the seal. So zodiac sign is a sign, it's a seal. So you are marking yourself with this demon. You are taking on, you are giving legal access, you are giving legal rights for Satan and his demonic hood rats to come into your life.
Trump arraignment yesterday. Watch his eyes. Watch his eyes. Definitely not normal. There were a few of him there like this. Very obvious that we're in a spiritual or some type of warfare going on here for sure. Look at his eyes. That is not normal. Not normal. Can anybody tell me who he is? Secret Service? What was his purpose on being there? Because his eyes, something is going on there. Definitely.
You don't like somebody, and if you got an inkling that a motherfucker don't like you, don't eat lunch with them, don't eat dinner with them. Bottom line, if you eating your food and a nigga get nasty and start cursing and going all crazy, leave it right there. That's right. You see what I'm saying? We talking about atmosphere. And so we don't want to hear nothing about, okay, sister, I don't get along with you, but we going to break bread together. No, you get ready to get fucked up. Don't eat nothing around a person that don't like you. This was in the 60s. My mother went to a hairdresser, got her hair done, came home. My father said, tell me you didn't go to that bitch's damn parlor. Said she jealous of you because she want me. And a month later, her hair started falling out. Now, it didn't fall out for long because it wasn't a magical thing, but nevertheless, it did have a reaction because she had somebody doing her hair that didn't like her. See what I'm saying? So you don't supposed to eat nothing around nobody that you don't like.
No.
Please welcome the 43rd President of the United States of America, George W. Bush.
Much more of a police presence. You go through the magnetometer, hand search. This had another level of intensity to it. I remember seeing guys holding automatic weapons, and I remember thinking to myself, this is now my America.
Understand it. What do you mean? Talk to me. Talk about it. Over the phone. I don't know what's going to happen. I just feel in my soul, only God knows, they could cure me. They could send me. They could free me and say I'll reduce you with drugs.
Now, the world today has.
That's very telling that he said they could say he overdosed on drugs, and later you see what happened. You guys have to research and just see why they made MJ a target. Owning the Beatles catalog, half of Sony Publishing. I mean, that's a big deal. Just do your research.
6.8 billion people. That's headed up to about 9 billion. Now, if we do a really great job on new vaccines, healthcare, reproductive health services, we could lower that by perhaps 10 or 15%.
Okay, I have a spicy conspiracy theory for you today. And I'm just going to start out by saying it's a lot easier to control the masses and control the narrative around something through emotional manipulation. So you'll notice if something is considered a tragedy, it's like totally taboo to ask questions about it. Case closed, that's it. So if there's people in the comments that have a problem with this or are calling me insensitive for talking about this, that's fine, because if it's true, that's the desired outcome. Anyway, this is the crew of the 1986 Challenger space shuttle mission. Infamously, on January 28, 1986, the space shuttle exploded right after takeoff. The disaster was broadcast on live television to 40 million viewers. Two men, Bob Eberling and Roger Boisjolly, worked tirelessly to warn NASA about an issue with the shuttle's O-rings, making calls and warning anyone that would listen going all the way back to October the prior year. They warned that if these O-rings were used on a launch on a day that was below 40 degrees Fahrenheit, that there would be a catastrophe. But of course, no one listened, which automatically kind of makes me think they wanted the catastrophe to happen. Roughly 80 seconds after the launch, the shuttle exploded and all 7 crew members lost their lives. This is Judy Resnik, an engineer and pilot aboard the Challenger mission. In 2013, an eagle-eyed internet user found Judith Resnik, a law professor at Harvard Law School. Some people were a little taken aback by the identical name, age, and likeness, so they started digging. This is Michael J. Smith, also an engineer and pilot aboard the Challenger shuttle, who passed away that fateful day in 1986 at the age of 39 years old. This is Dr. Michael J. Smith, professor of engineering at the University of Wisconsin. This is Sharon Krista McAuliffe, arguably one of the most famous things about the Challenger mission. She was supposedly just a teacher that was picked at random to be one of the astronauts, which made it all the more tragic when she passed away due to the Challenger disaster in 1986. This is Sharon A. McAuliffe, also a law professor who received her degree shortly after the Challenger disaster. Dick Scobie was the commander of the mission. Here's Commander Dick Scobie next to Richard Scobie, the CEO of Cows and Trees. Here's his company's original logo. It's a cow, but it's not in a tree. It's strapped to a rocket, and gee, that jet stream kind of looks familiar. In fact, just in case I wasn't making it clear, the top picture is the Challenger ship shortly after exploding. So, Astronauts Ronald McNair and Ellison Onizuka both passed away when the Challenger shuttle exploded. Miraculously, it was found out that they both had twin brothers, Carl McNair and Claude Onizuka. But ancestry searches were done for both Carl and Claude, and there was no birth records found. And the odds of 2 sets of identical twins in a crew of 7 are astronomical. But that's just a theory. Rest in peace to the crew of the Challenger space shuttle mission.
You can't convince me that the left is not a death cult, because everything that they stand for, both legislatively and ideologically, just relate to the demise of society. Whether it's obesity, whether it's how hard they push for abortion, whether it's allowing all these crimes and murders to happen in the cities, everything that you look at with them leads to depopulation. Even everything with same sex, it's like they don't even want heterosexual couples to be able to have kids. They're wanting to sterilize kids with the trans stuff. Everything that the left does leads to death. Has anybody else noticed that?
Yeah. And that's why I was saying, like, I don't think they like you very much. Like, you go to your politician and the Republican guy says, hey, man, you should have more kids. It's like, okay, he's basically telling you to survive. He likes you. There should be more of you. These Democrats go, have you considered aborting that baby? And it's like, that's something you would say to someone you don't like.
The Bible describes evil people being in high places like Puff Daddy. Evil don't exist down here. It exists up here. And where all of us down here trying to go? Up there with evil? Right. Almost everything up here is evil. Jay-Z, Tyler Perry, you can't get up here if you ain't evil, my niggas. It's a glass ceiling for those that's not evil. You can only go that high if you evil, because that's where evil exists.
Just have the... What is that, guys? Could it be a portal? Could it be something opening up in the sky? You know, these days things are just getting crazy. So what do you think that is? Is it a portal?
This magic power, I would like to, without causing any pain or suffering, reduce the number of people on the planet, because there's too many of us. The
devil uses music to brainwash people.
We are in control. We are not a political organization. We are an occult organization. We're working behind the scenes to manipulate the way that people think. The war that we are waging is a guerrilla war on the human mind. And we use musical frequencies, the dominant frequency, which I've referred to before, and symbolism and imagery to awaken dormant aspects of the human mind.
Unfortunately, I think this is just the beginning. So I've learned when people tell you what they're going to do, don't ignore them. So when the UN and Bill Gates and Klaus Schwab tell you that they've got a UN 2030 plan with sustainable development goals, I think there are 17 or 21 of them, and every one of them says you won't be traveling, you won't have a private car, we won't be using international shipping to move goods around, there won't be any flights except military or perhaps very rich people. You won't own anything and you'll be happy. You probably won't live in your own house. You'll be using much less energy for everything, including heating, manufactured goods, and so on. When they tell you that, you should assume that they're serious about it. And so I think COVID has been part one of a multi-act play that's going to take 10 years that will destroy the liberal democracies completely. We've already, if you think you're living in a democracy, now ask yourself who you could vote for that would change this, because I don't think there's anyone you can vote for anywhere that is guaranteed things. So I don't have an answer, but I'm telling you, I think we're sliding down through the gates of hell. I'm speaking out. There's nothing in it for me. I've lost lots of money, all my friends. I'm away from my home and family, and I'm speaking out because, as I close, I am absolutely sure what I've told you.
I swear to Lucifer, I swear to Lucifer.
We're seeing a society that not only has a lot more people of lower IQ, but a lot fewer people of higher IQ. In other words, a dumbing down, a chemical dumbing down of society. So everyone's sort of mediocre. That leaves them dependent on government because they can't excel. We have these people of lower IQ who are totally dependent. Then we have this mass of people who are going to believe anything they're told because they can't really think clearly.
Now you see in the West, people listen to music all the time. They're always plugged in. They get in their car, they turn on the music. They walk, they put in their earphones and they listen to their music, and people have long playlists. They spend a lot of money on these things, and so they're lost. They don't have free time to think anymore because their lives are filled with sound. The demons have immense tools that they've never had before, and they're using them very effectively.
This is a plan that was agreed to by 179 nations. It's called the Agenda for the 21st Century. It's a totalitarian state being developed right now all over the world. It is the inventory and control plan. Inventory and control of all land, all water, all minerals, all plants, all animals, all construction, all means of production, all food, all energy, all information, and all human beings in the world. And this is a plan that was agreed to by 179 nations back in 1992. It's a United Nations plan. It's called the Agenda for the 21st Century.
First of all, what you heard, you can read about online. The only difference of that video and what you're going to read about on the United Nations website, okay? It's as simple and apparent and out there as that. The only difference is the disguise that it's being put under. It's still a control of food. It's still a control of all means of production. It's a control of absolutely everything centrally. Only they say it's for our greater good. And my question is, well, what if it isn't? What if there are corrupt people that are in that centralized hub of power? Now, let me make a second thing clear. I have nothing against centralization. But you don't centralize something in a body that has cancer, because the cancer will spread.
We are going to do more of these videos, and I really hope that you guys like this video. Subscribe if you feel inclined to, and let's meet on the next video.